Islam, Vietnam, and greetings to the Moors world. My name is T. Morgan Bay, and I'm here with Brother Jonathan Bay. This is a two-part series of videos that we're doing on the Moorish
Unification Initiative.
The first video we did was on the MoorsRegistry.org, which was a database where Moors can upload their IDs and documents for verification purposes with authorities or for any purpose that you may need. Once you uploaded that information, it will generate a QR code, which will be sent to you in 72 hours for you to put on the back of your ID or however you wanted to use it. And that QR code will produce a PDF of all your documents and identification information. This is part of the unification initiative that Brother Jonathan Bay has created these two platforms. The second being ActiveMoors, which is the subject of this video today, is that part two is about ActiveMoors.com, which is a social media platform where Moors can get together and communicate and discuss all kind of issues in the Moorish world or other interests. So we're going to be concentrating on the second part of the Moorish Unification Initiative, which is the ActiveMoors.com. Previously, again, the first video was about MoorsRegistry.org. If you haven't seen that one, go and check it out, and then come back to this one, and you'll see how the two initiatives kind of work together to bring unification among the Moors. Brother Jonathan Bay?
Yes, I wanted to. Islam. Thank you, brother. I wanted to also mention that it's important that individuals understand that the Moorish Registry is autonomous.
Yes.
It just so happens that ActiveMoors.com is simply a part of the Moorish online infrastructure. ActiveMoors.com is, let's say, similar to, it's a Facebook-like environment, which affords Moors to come in and socialize with one another in various things. But the first interview that you had done regarding the MoorsRegistry.org, for them to understand that they're not connected other than by the mere fact that they are part of the infrastructure, online infrastructure, just like RV Day Publications, a well-known, more extremely valuable resource for education and networking, for various nurturing of our academic scholarship, just like the Moorish Government Public Records might be a part of that infrastructure online of our social community. Those very brave presentations provided by Sister Annie Edahel, whatever might be part of our community is part of the infrastructure. Okay, so ActiveMoors, since because it is on the internet or the web, and in our and for our and by our community, is part of our Moors infrastructure. But MoorsRegistry.org, O-R-G, very important, the O-R-G part, because it is an organizing vehicle which affords Moors to come together in an organized manner, and as would be a census, join the head count, so to speak, and also have other resources that they can refer to that other video for. But just understanding that that's separate and not necessarily connected to ActiveMoors.com. ActiveMoors.com is its own resource. It's a social network. It doesn't have a political agenda, but it does afford for individuals, if they should want to, as part of their own taking of initiative, they can start a room, let's say in Minnesota. Brother or sister could come into the Minnesota geographical area and start a subgroup, which might be, you know, a place to build, or a place to educate, or a place to just, you know, grow. There may be Minnesota arts group. Okay, people that want to talk about whatever arts they may be in. It might be a sculpture, they may be a painting, it might be rap and spoken word. Okay, they can create their own room, just as they could create their own room for creating a local body politic, and began the process of reanimating, or being part of the reanimation of our greater body politic by starting a room, began discussions as to, you know, maybe handing out, making sure people know that, you know, giving them the link to maybe the thing called the call to action, which is the blueprint as to how the only manner in which a viable and valid reanimation of the Moorish body politic can be effectuated, and to begin to create an environment in which they can verifiably, through their own records, establish their sub-organizations on the local level, nominating their own individuals to be part of that small collective, you know, by way of the Moorish rules of order, which are pretty much synonymous with Robert's rules of order, which identifies and dictates the manner in which meetings should be held, carried out, participated in order to, at the end of the meeting, actually have accomplished something, a record of what was discussed amongst the participants. And at the end of the meeting, there would be a document, the minutes report of what transpired, what was discussed, what was approved by a consensus within the group, and what now exists. It's changed then during the course, and because of the course of that meeting, it has changed from a concept now into a valid objective reality. It has been accomplished and brought to fruition. Now that small group exists, other than in wish and hopes and dreams that a small group like that exists. It now does verifiably exist. There's a record of it existing. And then they can build upon that, perhaps with their establishing of bylaws and things of that nature. But it is all about the human participation of a collective, of the public, and it should never be in a dictatorial frame. And even though I may be lingering too long in the issue of, you know, the building of that particular room, dealing with the reanimation of the Moorish body politic, because I personally feel it is imperative and important that everyone understand the value in reanimating correctly on a local level, a regional level, a national level, and an international level, a true unification and reanimating of the Moorish body politic. I linger there because it's not my greatest passion, but it's my firm understanding that that is how, in fact, you become a collective and society a people that are about motivating themselves and following through with those tasks and objectives, goals in which they accomplish to manifest and create their own vehicles of empowerment. So to me, that's very important for us to understand that it is up to us to effectuate these things, and most profitably to do them in that manner, such as with respect to the call to action. The call to action itself identifies the exact blueprint as to how one can go about reanimating the Moorish body politic. And if you follow that roadmap, then you are meeting the call to action. And out of that will arise a body politic from which other institutions can then be birthed within the soil of that reality and establish themselves, even if there doesn't matter what it might be. It may be courts, it might be different parts of administrations, it may be things, but at least it is being birthed out of something that was created by the people and for the people, honestly, opposed to something just appearing as though, and I've said this before, I am not a proponent, I am not in favor of the guy that comes and knocks on your door or knocks on your computer interaction and says, my name is so-and-so, and this group is such and such, and I am your leader. That to me does not, it doesn't work.
Does not compute.
It doesn't compute. I can't factor that, because everything, in my opinion, should be done by the people, even the naming of something. Now, of course, the naming of ActiveMoors.com was a URL that was created for a particular facilitation. It's a gift to the community. There wasn't a need for taking a vote on the name of that, because it was something that was actually, URL was purchased by an individual and created. It's not a body politic, whereas a body politic should be all the way to its grassroots. Okay, every aspect of it should be a community developed, organized, and sanctioned. Thereby, those individuals that you would elect to represent you would be representing you with your full permission. Almost in the concept of the term of your attorney, if you have someone who's going to, let's say you have an elderly person that you're taking care of, then you've given them the, they have given you the right of attorney, in fact, to represent themselves in any matters that might have. Well, the same thing is true with respect to elected officials. You are bequeathing them, you are bestowing them with the power to speak on your behalf. However, that has to be done outside of what we would consider a dictatorial framework or atmosphere. It must be done by, in my opinion, what we call a republic form of policy as to how it functions, opposed to, we just have this chieftain who is the acting in, like the emperor of the group, that whatever one person or a small enclave or oligarchy, small group of people in charge. It can't work like that, in my opinion.
Or someone who doesn't solicit what the opinions and
of others might be.
Right.
or may not even want their opinion.
Right. Exactly. You know, so he's doing it based upon his own feelings rather than the feelings of the group that he represents.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if that's the way their group wants to run, and they're comfortable with that because they have full faith and trust in this individual, then that's fine too.
Right.
It really is. But as long as that, you know, that they're honest about that, there's nothing wrong with them having an organization that operates that way. It's theirs. They can do it whatever way they want.
As
But
long
when
as
they
they're
come
honest.
to,
As long as they're honest with who they are. Right.
Right. And then whenever they come over to utilize the resources in the infrastructure, such as ActiveMoors.com as an example, then everyone knows the nature of what it is, what constitutes that group, because that's their bylaws is their constitution. What constitutes the nature of their operative functionality, okay, of their body. And nothing wrong with them structuring it in any way they want because it's theirs.
Right.
As long as it's honest. And that's fine. And we can still work with that group and try to assist that group as long as their means are not, let's say, destructive or devious or causing harm to any individual or the collective as a whole.
Right. And as long as their interest is about their group and not about themselves. You know, that's what leadership is all about.
If their group is about that individual, and let's say there's an individual that has a particular following that may, in our opinion, appear to be cult-like, and they're putting their full faith and belief in this individual, and they want to do that, we don't have a say in that.
No.
No. That's fine. They can still come on, okay? But they can't come with a thinking or a feeling that they're also going to control everybody else. They're just in control of their group.
Right.
And all we would ask is that they be respectful and, you know, attempt to have a spirit of loving cooperation with respect to the rest of the individuals, groups, and collectives that might also be within the environment.
Islam. So you've expounded on the ActiveMoors, but let's give a focused definition in a few words what the ActiveMoors.com is, and then we'll go to the site and you can go through and explain it. So give us a focus on what it is, and I think what you just explained is the purpose. So let's get into the functionality of the specific functionality of ActiveMoors.com.
Sure. Thank you, brother. I'm honored to do so. It's a free website that functions very similarly to Facebook, but it is made by Moors for Moors to facilitate the needs as well as just desires and wishes of our community. It is a resource vehicle, a platform and environment which individuals can feel safe within, protected. Now, when we're talking about social network platforms such as Facebook, that is a social network platform. However, much of its business, that's why, you know, is data harvesting.
All right.
Okay? That's a difference because ActiveMoors.com, we don't harvest data. We don't collect it in that manner. We are simply a resource in which you can come and meet other Moors in your local area or create devices that would facilitate that. You can create your own rooms and allow for individuals to recognize, oh, there's somebody who lives right up the road from me. I see, somebody's created a, Tumpton Juncture, or Phillips Hill, or Brooklyn, room. And you can then now find out that you're not an island amongst yourself. There's other Moors in your local area that you may not have even recognized exist. So it's autonomous in that no one is excluded. Anyone from any group, we would prefer that it be Moors, because we don't have those types of resources as of yet. And this is the beginning of those social platforms. And we would hope that Moors from places that are meeting at places like Facebook might recognize that it's more beneficial to join their community within a social network platform that has been created by their community for them.
Right.
Zuckerberg, the creator of Facebook, has done a great job in creating this multi-billion-dollar infrastructure. We're certainly not as technologically robust, okay, because we don't have billions of dollars.
Right.
But it is still, nevertheless, a site which works, which affords a great deal of flexible, abilities. You can, post what's on your mind. You can, put up a video. You can do a lot of the same things. You can have chats. A lot of the same things that most Moors would use Facebook for.
Okay.
You can do that at ActiveMoors.com. And that's what it's for.
Let's go to the site. Let's go to the site, and we can demonstrate some of the things that you can do there.
Oh, active. Okay. Should be able to see it about now?
Yep. There it is.
Great. And so,
is this the home page where we can?
This is the home page.
All right.
And as when you first come in, it'll show there that although not required, the background images are nice to have, because you will be required to have a either an icon or an image of your face here where the cursor is moving around, because that lets us know that you are a real person and not a robot or a malicious bot, making false registration. And it says ActiveMoors.com also asks that all community members please remain mindful to always conduct yourself honorably, respecting one another as you would wish to be respected. That's about the only two requirements at ActiveMoors.com, is that you respect one another as you would like to be respected, and that you put your face here. This here is just showing that here up in the corner, that if you click this, it's going to provide a drop down of various areas where you can begin or go to. But as we scroll down, we'll see that this is ActiveMoors, where you would sign in.
All right.
Or register, create an account. Okay. This is a little audio player. And so you can go on down and.
Now the audio player does what?
The audio player, this is just playing a Moors musical PSA.
I got you.
And so if you wish to use that or download it, you can review it. can download it. Many people have found that they enjoy it and they share it with their family members, and it explains to their family members some of the basic realities and truths regarding us not being Negro, Black, or colored.
All right.
So that's just basically what is on this one particular device right here, but it's a good place to start for Moors to understand that, you know, this is a platform for themselves. And so when you log in, then it affords for you to then go into these areas of, let's say, the group, okay, or members. And I'll just click that. And as you see, because I had not signed in, right?
All right.
So this is where it's going to take me. So if I go back and I sign in here, log into my account, okay, now I am in, you see? And now that I'm in to this area, it works, as I said, very similarly.
I said, bottom accents, say this phrase out loud.
See, it very similarly to what you would see on Facebook, but it is for Moors, by Moors. And let's go back. I'm going to go always. You can always back arrow out. I could click here and then go in. Now that I'm signed in, okay, I can now go to like where we were trying to go to before, members. And now we can see, you know, who's in here. Okay. Now, this individual here will be contacted probably by someone to let them know that he's going to need to put his face or image here or icon so that we know it's a real person. Otherwise, within 72 hours, these people like this, even though we see they're a they, we know they're real, but we can't allow for them just to remain part of it because it's part of policy. You must show either an image or your face image in order to remain. And then after, you know, a few days, if you have not complied with that, well, then you'll find your account has been disconnected, suspended, or deleted. And
which doesn't leave you out. It's just that you have to go back in, re-register, and put your face in, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what would be occurring. Now, even though we see a they and we see an L, okay, those in nomen which we recognize are Moorish in nature. And so we would make again here, we would make a plea to them to please do that, because we don't want to we want to keep them around. We really enjoy them being part of our community. And we don't want to see them leaving. But we do want to see them, you know, basically doing as all of the others will do, you know, providing their face. So we know now, this is Richard Smith. We were talking about the individual who's done a lot of the writing on Moors, has a great deal of, I saw him myself personally on Black Nobles, Black and Nobles, the bookstore. He was giving a presentation there maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. Very interesting to see him come, and I actually communicated with him and asked him why he had a desire to be part of the environment. And he explained that, you know, as it turns out in his lineage, he does have a Moorish connection. He was very forthright in providing that information and the rest of it. Same thing with Christopher Ross here, who is very interested in the Moorish community. And they don't all look the same.
Yeah, well, you know, there was a group in on the East Coast. I remember the book by Peter Lamborn Wilson, I think it was, who wrote a book about Europeans that are Moors. I have to find the book and And I'm sure that somebody out there are familiar. A lot more that are familiar with that book will recognize what I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
on that issue. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so there are a lot of them out there that still that claim to be that says they are Moors, not claim.
Right. Now this brother right here, I know for a fact because I remember the name and I know the brother. Um, he was part of the house cleaning that occurred at the last week because he did not have an image here.
All right.
And so he was deleted. But you see now he's back, okay?
All right.
And as of 4 days ago, and he is, able to just continue on from where he was.
Right.
But now he's compliant. And so, matter of fact, I can take an opportunity right now to send him a message, a public message, and telling him, it's so good to see him back. Okay.
Good. So, like you said, this is an example of someone who didn't present his image,
Mm-hmm.
was kicked off, but came back. Or well, not kicked off, but taken off the ActiveMoors and came back with this
right
with his image.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And so he recognized that, well, what we were saying was not, a bluff, so to speak, because we had been saying it for a while. There was plenty of opportunity for people to do it, and maybe we gave them too long of an opportunity, but it was inevitable that at some point they were going to be taking off. So I'm just saying, good to see you back, dear brother. And I'm going to say,
yeah. All right.
yeah.
Very good. Very good. So now let's go into the part where you create the rooms or create the discussion groups.
Sure. And again, we can go and we can look at the rooms. I'm just going to come out of the members area and go into the groups. I'm going to be putting up a way that we can jump from any area that we may want to. But I wanted to also point out that just like with Facebook, you can click these various things, let you know if you have a message or if someone's sending you something or a different type of activity might be going on that allow for you to interface in the same way. So if we go to groups here, we see the various groups. This first time me seeing this one, Morse Music. That's nice. Okay, this just popped up. Okay, so we got a Morse Music group, and let's just take a look at that.
All right. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. So now we got. And so this is from Brother Tahim Day.
Ah. All right.
And I like that. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
It's catchy. It's catchy.
So we just gave him a thumbs up, and as you can see,
there you go, for sure.
Here. Okay. And that's what we're talking about now. No one can tell me.
Is this all a part of the group? Is that all a part of this group?
Yeah. Evidently, this is like I said, I had not seen this group before. He must have just erected it. Okay. Now we can click this, and we can join that group. Okay. And so now we just, join the group, and I'll just put.
I've never invested time in the social media, so I'm familiarizing myself with it now. I'm going to have to get on. I did join the ActiveMoors.com for the first time. I think it's a worthy cause, and I think we can do a little education on this platform also. So I'm interested in doing that.
Absolutely. Well, and if you go back here to the groups, like I said, we just kind of paused for a moment because I hadn't seen this group there. So now we're seeing that in that group that we've got these, folks in there right now. But this is a group that Moore just took his initiative to start, Moore's Music. So I'm loving that. Okay. Exactly. So someone has just started a Canyonland territory. That's new. Okay. And these are not created. These are not created by ActiveMoors. These are created by individuals in our community.
Okay. Very good.
So they're taking the initiative to put in these rooms themselves.
It actually looks like fun.
Yeah.
It looks like fun. It really does.
So we've got Missouri over here. Canyonland Moors have joined now. Okay. And then we've got Noble Educators Group. So that's like maybe one you're talking about to come in and create subgroups within.
Yep.
Okay. And
well, I need educators. I need educators because I think that's going to be a part of the next phase, my participation in the educational part of it. That's what I want to do is I want to get into the educational part of Moors.
Right.
Not all the discrepancies, but I'm talking about concrete education that you can use every day,
Yes. Practical.
So, right. The practical side of education. Something that you can use as a profession. Something that you can, make a living with to feed your family, to grow your family, bring up a family with the education.
Yeah, sure. And matter of fact, there could be going a newsletter out today, a little later today, that deals exactly with that. And it's dealing with the importance of actually that part of our creative community, those spoken word poets, the rappers, those that have always been the chronicling of our state of condition of reality.
Exactly.
Rappers have always identified and been shaping the nature of our society in such a powerful manner. It's a huge form of communication. And there's a newsletter coming out that is going to be introducing the community to the thing called the Moors. And it is another part of the infrastructure for the those of the creative arts, and affording them a resource in which to educate themselves, as well as partake of certain free resources that will be given out to aid and abet them in the creation of their works. And there'll be certain, huge benefits in, coming and getting those free things that will assist you. Might be regarding maybe intellectual properties law, copyrights, of your musical creations, and how do you publish that in a way that you're going to be getting financial reward by selling your material online or things of this nature. So it's going to be a huge umbrella, and it's already registered, federal registration of this vehicle and device, because it's been going on. But now the Moors community has an opportunity to, come under the umbrella and be assisted in the endeavors of getting their messages out there, be it musically or spoken word or acting or any of those types of things underneath this particular device. And so there's a lot
it's
being offered.
It's a discovery. It's also, I see it as a discovery tool too. I see it as a discovery tool where Moors can show and discuss their talents, what their gifts are, what they can contribute to the Moors community. You'll get a sense of what's on the minds of Moors also, and what's troubling them that's going on in the nation, what things they're doing constructively to aid. And so this is a great way for Moors to communicate with each other and be positive entities. We had just did a Zoom conference on ActiveMoors today, where a sister in Arkansas who felt like she was isolated. There were Moors down there that she could communicate with, and she's experimenting with certain instances in the law. And she needs feedback. She needs somebody to bounce ideas off with. And this, she came into conference today, and told us what her situation was, and we contributed to what she needed. So that is the way of discovery. We're discovering each other. We're finding out things about the collective and what everybody's doing. So I think it's a good way to focus in on the Moorish world and what we're doing in Moors.
And expanding our resources.
Right.
And as all of these things come online and we begin to take fullest advantage of them, then we'll recognize that, oh, wow, we don't necessarily need to use Mr. Zuckerberg's, tracking of me or collecting of my information data. I can actually go into a safe Moorish environment and find that I have the same resources, and begin the process of weaning myself off of feeling dependent upon those resources that are, in my opinion, if no one has ever proven to you that they have your best welfare at heart, they probably don't. So I would think that, in your own community, if you can, find a way in which to be self-reliant, God bless the child who have their own, as it were.
Exactly. Well, Brother Jonathan Bey, I think this is two great platforms that you created, using your talent as a good technician on this technology, and creating constructive platforms where Moors can become active, giving them an avenue in which they can do of discovery of other Moors, discovery of what they do, how talented we are as a community, and moving forward as a collective, as a united front. I think these are two great platforms. I know you're not finished with other creations that you're doing, but I hope that it inspires other Moors to use their talents for the benefit of our community.
Well,
So,
thank you, brother. I hope so as well. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you taking up your time too, brother.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And, you know, hopefully in the future we'll be coming back to this and letting people know of our progress and what it's actually doing in the community, and we can show them. I mean, from the last time I saw your the ActiveMoors.com, there were only a few people on, but now I see it's growing.
Oh,
it
yeah.
Really is.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. People are becoming active. So,
oh, yes. And taking full advantage of it. It's just exploding.
Exactly. Absolutely. So I'm hoping that people get as excited about ActiveMoors.com as they do about the MoorsRegistry.org.
Right.
So hopefully this the activity on Active Moors, we can use that platform to inform them about the Moors Registry.
Sure. Sure.
Of it, and so that we can just as effectively as Active Moors can be, so can the MoorsRegistry.org. We hope to get that message over.
I certainly hope so.
All right. So we're going to end it here. And
thank you again.
Don't forget, Moors, that MoorsRegistry.org and ActiveMoors.com. Part 1, MoorsRegistry.org. Part 2, ActiveMoors.com. The Moors Unification Initiative.
And we'll leave some links down below for them as well.
Good. Excellent. All right, my brother.
All right. Thank you.
Pleasure. And it's been really, really enlightening. Thank you so much.
The honor's all mine. Thank you so much. Peace.
All right. Peace.